I mean, first, that's a rude question to ask. If I think, it was a great call by my coach,
Do you like the aggression? Don't you like the call? Do you like?
I like being out there playing. so whatever that comes with, it comes with. We're not gonna be here and ever point finger at no coach or do anything like that. That's extremely disrespectful, and that's not even in my place. So rallying everybody together whenever things aren't going our way, and staying that, and staying focused and staying on it. So that's something, off the field I know I gotta improve is, even when I shoot my shot and I miss, I just gotta keep shooting and I gotta keep having bringing everybody together. You know what I'm saying? Because I know the offense, I know the team count on me, to do my job and do what I gotta do. And
probably just what I would have done different. I probably just probably taught them off camera. That's probably what I would have done different. Of course, I'm gonna speak my mind and tell me what and say what I need, what I see out there. But it what it is, football, man. Just me and Shedeur good. Stuff like that happens. Y'all gonna make it bigger than what it is. Because the media, that's what y'all feed off of, negativity. But it is what it is. This is the life we live. So.
Yo, check this out. What Shedeur Sanders just pulled off at that podium got NFL teams straight up rattled right now. While Jerry Jeudy's catching heat all over the internet for that sideline meltdown, and Kevin Stefanski's play calling is getting dragged through the mud. The entire Browns squad looks like it's falling apart. But here's the twist. This 22-year-old rookie stepped up, owned the loss, and it wasn't even his fault. That's real leadership right there. Even Fox News jumped in, pointing out how he shut down a reporter trying to trap him into throwing his coach under the bus. But that's not even the wildest part. The real story is what happened after. Myles Garrett dropped a message that hit deep. The future Hall of Famer looked at Shedeur and the rookies and said, "This is our team, just as much as it is yours. Take ownership of it." Boom! That line changed everything. Now, when you stack that up with what Shedeur said in that viral press conference, you can feel it. 31 NFL teams are realizing they seriously messed up by passing on this kid. It's like a wake-up call to the whole league. Let's set the scene for a sec because this one's got layers. The Browns just got blasted 26-8 by the 49ers. Special teams fell apart. Gage Lane muffed a punt that San Francisco jumped all over, and Harold and JR couldn't recover in time. Everything that could go wrong did. But somehow, Shedeur turned that mess into a statement. Man, the game flipped fast. A fumble on 4th down deep in Browns territory turned the whole thing into a straight-up dumpster fire. But here's the wild part. Shedeur Sanders, he didn't cough up the ball once, not one turnover. He went 16 for 25, throwing for 149 yards, 1 touchdown, and 0 interceptions. The only sack he took was for a loss of just 3 yards because he was protecting that ball like his life depended on it. San Francisco's defense came after him 3 solid times trying to rattle him, but Shedeur stayed cool, calm, and locked in the whole way. Now I know what some people are saying, 149 yards, that's it? Yeah, but hold up, let's talk about what really went down. In that first half, Shedeur was cooking. He threw a stunning touchdown to Harold Finn Jr., so clean it had LeBron James tweeting about it. That pass was art. The Browns were actually moving the ball, and Shedeur was making it happen. For a minute, it looked like Cleveland was about to shock everyone and steal a win. But then halftime hit, and that's when things took a turn. The adjustments came in, and the whole vibe shifted. Now listen to what Shedeur said about that second half. It's important. He didn't make excuses. He just told it like it was. He said players weren't lining up where they practiced, receivers were out of position, and the chemistry fell off. And here's the bombshell. He was talking about Jerry Jeudy without dropping his name. You remember that viral sideline moment, right? Yeah, this is what he meant. Yeah, CBS cameras caught every second of that moment. Jerry Jeudy walked right up to Shedeur while he was studying the tablet, clapping his hands loud, acting all fired up, and getting right in the rookie's face over a missed throw. The tension was thick, but you know what Shedeur did? He stood up, locked eyes, and stayed calm. No yelling, no pushing back, just pure professionalism. That right there said everything about his mindset. Now let's get into that moment Fox News spotlighted, the so-called rude question. A reporter straight up asked Shedeur if he liked Kevin Stefanski's aggressive play calling on those failed 4th and 1 attempts, and Shedeur didn't hesitate. He fired back with class and confidence, saying, "First, that's a rude question to ask if I think it was a great call by my coach. That's extremely disrespectful. That's not even in my place." Boom! That's how you shut it down with grace and power. Think about it. This kid's only 22, playing in just his 2nd NFL start, and he handled that moment like a seasoned vet. He showed more leadership and composure than a lot of quarterbacks who've been in this league for years. He didn't throw his coach under the bus, didn't make excuses, didn't blame his O-line that was struggling with all those injury swaps. He kept it real and took full responsibility when most players would have started pointing fingers. And when reporters asked Kevin Stefanski about that heated exchange between Jeudy and Shedeur, he brushed it off, called it a family disagreement, said it was normal stuff. But here's what he didn't say. He never explained why a veteran receiver thought it was okay to get in a rookie QB's face during a blowout loss. That silence says a lot, and fans definitely noticed. He never even touched on why Jerry Jeudy, who's literally leading the league in drops right now, felt like he had the right to be heated when Shedeur's been the only consistent thing holding this Browns offense together. That's wild. The rookie's been keeping it solid every week, while the vet can't even hang on to the ball. Now let me paint the real picture of what's going down in Cleveland. You've got a rookie class built from straight-up winners. Shedeur dominated at Jackson State and Colorado. Mason Graham was a monster at Michigan. Carson Schweizinger was tearing it up at Wisconsin. Quinn Judkins was lighting up the field at Ole Miss and Ohio State. These dudes came from programs where losing just wasn't part of the culture. But now, they've been dropped into Cleveland, a team full of vets who've been through years of chaos, bad coaching, and locker room drama, and everyone expects these young guns to just blend in and stay quiet? Nah, that's not how it goes. You can't silence hungry players who are used to winning. It's just not in their DNA. And that's why what Myles Garrett said after the game hit so hard. When reporters asked about the rookies stepping up as leaders, Garrett looked straight into the camera and said, "This is our team just as much as it is yours. Take ownership of it. Don't be afraid to say what's on your mind." You feel that? That's leadership talking right there. Myles Garrett, the best defensive player in the league, a future Hall of Famer, is giving Shedeur and those rookies the green light to lead. He's basically saying, we need your voice now. In that moment right there, it might have just changed everything for the Browns, because when a veteran like Myles Garrett openly tells the young guys to lead, it flips the whole power dynamic in the locker room. That's no small thing. It's a message that the old "just wait your turn" mindset is out the window. Garrett's saying it loud and clear. If you've got passion, speak up. If you've got heart, show it. And guess what? Shedeur took that message personally. Word around the locker room is that after Garrett's comments, Shedeur called a players-only meeting. He didn't point fingers or call people out. He challenged everyone to hold themselves accountable. He reportedly told his teammates, if we want to win, it starts right here. No more excuses, no more ego. That's a bold move for a 22-year-old rookie surrounded by veterans. But here's the kicker. People inside the organization are saying the vibe changed overnight. Practice intensity went up, communication got sharper, and even the older players started following Shedeur's lead. Coaches are starting to notice too, saying things like, he's not just playing quarterback, he's setting a standard. And while the internet's busy clowning the Browns for another ugly loss, the real story is what's happening behind the scenes. A rookie quarterback might have just sparked a cultural shift in one of the NFL's most chaotic franchises. It's wild to think about, but sometimes it takes a heartbreak and a little public drama to expose who's built for the pressure, and right now, it's looking like Shedeur Sanders was made for it. Now here's where things start to get real, because just when everyone thought the Browns were about to spiral out completely, Shedeur flipped the whole narrative again. Word hit social media that he stayed late after practice, working with the same receivers who'd been out of sync during the game. Reporters said he was out there in the cold, throwing extra reps, running routes, making sure the chemistry was tight for next week's matchup. That's next level dedication. And fans noticed. The clip went viral overnight. Shedeur in full sweats, headset on, coaching his teammates through drills like a vet. People were saying stuff like, this kid's got that real franchise QB energy. Even analysts on ESPN were shocked, calling it a rare kind of leadership you can't teach. You could feel the shift. Suddenly, the same folks who were doubting him a week ago were giving him props for changing the culture from the inside out. Meanwhile, Jerry Jeudy, he's been quiet, real quiet. No posts, no interviews, no sideline antics. Maybe he realized that getting loud doesn't make you a leader. Doing the work does. And Shedeur's actions are proving that louder than any words ever could. The team's energy has changed. Myles Garrett's fired up, the rookies are locked in, and even the coaching staff looks more united. It's like everyone finally remembered why they play this game. To win together, not just to survive. If Shedeur keeps this up, he's not just saving the Browns' season, he's rewriting their entire story. We need you to take control of this team. And guess what? Shedeur did exactly that in that press conference. When he grabbed that mic, you could feel the weight of the moment. He said, I didn't do a great job rallying everybody together whenever things aren't going our way. Even when I shoot my shot and I miss, I just gotta keep shooting, keep bringing everybody together. I know the offense and the team are counting on me to do my job and do what I gotta do. And I feel like I failed them today. Man, that right there hit different. You're hearing a 22-year-old rookie take full responsibility for a loss that had everything to do with special teams blunders, messy fumbles, bad play calling, and a veteran wideout who couldn't catch a cold. But instead of blaming anyone, Shedeur looked straight in the mirror and said, "I need to be better." That's real leadership. No deflection, no drama, just accountability. And that's why this press conference went crazy online, because let's be real, in today's NFL, most players give those robotic PR-approved answers, but not Shedeur. He kept it raw, unfiltered, and real. You could see the pain in his eyes and hear the frustration in his voice. This wasn't a media-trained response. This was a competitor owning the moment. That's why NFL scouts, execs, and analysts all stopped and paid attention. They weren't just watching a rookie quarterback. They were watching a future leader being built right in front of them. And the way he handled that rude question, pure poise. Think about it. How many rookies would have taken that bait and thrown their coach under the bus? Not Shedeur. He passed that test like a vet. Shedeur caught that question instantly for what it was, straight disrespect, and he shut it down right there on the spot. That's leadership in real time. That's protecting your coach, even when the coach might not fully deserve it. It's the kind of maturity you don't see often, especially from a rookie who's only a couple games into his NFL journey. But here's where it gets even deeper. Shedeur didn't just speak, he exposed the real problem in Cleveland when he talked about guys not lining up where they practiced, receivers missing their reads, and the team not seeing things through the same lens. He was shining a light on something bigger. This isn't about Shedeur not being ready, it's about the Browns failing to give him what he needs to win. Let's break down what he really said about that Jerry Jeudy situation without naming names. When he mentioned certain guys aren't in the same spot we practice. Translation, Jerry's freelancing routes instead of running the plays as designed. And when Shedeur said, "We're not seeing everything at the same lens," that means his receivers and him aren't on the same page because he hasn't had enough reps with the first team offense all season. That's not a rookie mistake, that's a coaching issue. And here's the twist that caught everyone off guard. Remember how Fox News said LeBron James was hyped about Shedeur's touchdown? Yeah, that touchdown. The King of Cleveland himself was watching, saw something special, and gave him props. And that's not just random celebrity support. LeBron doesn't hand out compliments unless it's earned. When someone like him sees greatness, you know it's real. But let's talk about the elephant in the room that everyone keeps bringing up, because this is where things get even more explosive. Yeah, the stat sheet doesn't jump off the page. 149 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, and not a single highlight bomb down the field. But here's what those box score junkies aren't telling you. Shedeur was out there fighting behind an offensive line that was literally falling apart in real time. Jack Conklin went down mid-game. They had to reshuffle protection on the fly. And at one point, the coaches were scrambling just to figure out who was even lining up next. Total chaos up front. And on top of that, the win was no joke. Shedeur actually talked about having to calculate wind speed, distance, and trajectory on every throw, like he was playing chess in a hurricane. Then toss in the fact that San Francisco's defense kept getting short fields all game long because of busted special teams plays, and suddenly that average stat line starts to look way more impressive. But here's the part people are sleeping on. The Browns coaching staff clamped down in the second half. Stefanski and company went ultra-conservative. Shedeur said it himself. They were running the ball well, but every time they faced a passing down, the playbook tightened up. Translation, they didn't fully trust him to let it fly yet. And honestly, you can kind of see why. It's only his second NFL start, the game was slipping away, and they were just trying to protect him from more hits. But even in all that chaos, Shedeur never cracked. When Jerry Jeudy stepped to him on the sideline, he held his ground. When a reporter tried to bait him into trashing his coach, he showed loyalty. And when he faced the cameras after the game, he didn't hide. He took full responsibility like a seasoned pro. That's not rookie behavior. That's the mindset of a leader built for the long run. So now the question is, how excited are you to see what this kid does next week when he finally gets to cut loose? Now let's tie all these pieces together, because this right here is exactly why NFL teams are shook. Every single scouting report on Shedeur coming out of college said the same thing. Great arm, great vision, but does he have the mental toughness? Can he handle adversity? Will he be a team-first guy or turn into a diva under pressure? Well, after what we just witnessed, I think that question just got answered loud and clear. This kid walked straight into one of the most chaotic situations in football, a Cleveland Browns team that's been drowning in drama for years. You've got a head coach sitting on a hot seat, a front office making head-scratching decisions, and a fan base starving for any sign of hope. That's not an easy place for a rookie to survive, let alone lead. But instead of folding, instead of running to the media to complain, instead of demanding a trade or calling out teammates, Shedeur took it all on his shoulders. He stood tall, faced the heat, and said, "I need to be better." That's the kind of mindset that separates leaders from pretenders. You know how rare that is in this league? There are first-round picks out here showing less character than this fifth-round rookie is displaying every single week. And here's the wild twist nobody saw coming. Kevin Stefanski just announced that Shedeur is starting again next week against the Titans. After a tough loss, after public criticism, after that viral sideline moment, he's still the guy. Why? Because even the coach sees what everyone else is finally realizing. This kid is different. Myles Garrett's message wasn't just locker room motivation, it was a challenge. He was telling those rookies, "You're not the future anymore, you're the now." And Shedeur just proved he's ready to take that torch and run with it. And Shedeur responded exactly how a real one should, by owning the moment, win or lose. Think about the difference between how he handled that press conference versus how other rookie quarterbacks have handled their rough patches this season. We've seen some guys throw their coaches under the bus, others blame receivers for dropped passes, and a few point fingers at the play calling or the O-line. But Shedeur, he didn't do any of that. He stood there, looked dead into the cameras, and said, "This is on me." That's rare, and that's powerful. That's why this press conference went viral. That's why NFL executives are suddenly rewatching his tape. And that's why, even in a loss, Shedeur Sanders might have earned more respect than some quarterbacks get in an entire season full of wins. He didn't just play football that day, he showed who he is. And here's the real talk. This moment might actually be the best thing that could have happened to him, because now everyone knows he can handle the pressure. We've seen it. He won't fold when things get rough. He won't throw his team under the bus, and he'll always protect the people in his locker room. That's leadership that can't be faked. Most importantly, we know he's got that dog in him, that fire that separates the good from the great. The stats will come. The wins will come. And once that chemistry with his receivers clicks, the offense is going to explode. But character, you either have it or you don't. And Shedeur just showed the entire NFL that he's got it in spades. So while everyone's arguing about whether the Browns should draft another quarterback, if Stefanski's job is on the line, or if Jerry Jeudy's falling off, I'm over here thinking about something way bigger, because this feels like the start of something special. I'm sitting here thinking about how this one game, this one press conference might have just flipped the entire narrative around Shedeur Sanders. Because when you really look at it, this wasn't just about football. It was about a young quarterback proving he's built for the storm. He took the criticism, the memes, the headlines, and instead of running from it, he turned it into fuel. That's rare energy, especially in a league that eats rookies alive when things go south. And let's be real, this is the type of moment that changes careers. Every NFL front office watching that presser saw something you can't measure in a combine or find in a scouting report. They saw poise, self-awareness, and that "I'm gonna figure it out no matter what" attitude. You can teach mechanics, you can build arm strength, but you can't fake heart, and Shedeur is showing the kind of heart that makes people rally behind him. Word from inside the Browns facility is that his teammates felt that shift too. Some of the veterans, guys who've seen it all, are saying things like, "He earned our respect that night." You can't buy that kind of respect. You gotta earn it through how you carry yourself when everything's falling apart. And here's where it gets interesting. NFL analysts are starting to whisper that if Shedeur keeps trending like this, he could change the entire future of the Browns, not just as a player, but as a culture setter. Imagine a rookie stepping in, weathering all this drama, and still managing to unite the locker room. That's franchise-level stuff right there. So yeah, people can keep talking about stats and losses all they want. But the truth? Shedeur Sanders just proved something way more valuable. He's got the mindset of a winner, even when the scoreboard doesn't say it yet. Right now, 31 NFL teams are probably kicking themselves hard because that so-called fifth-round project they all passed on is out here showing Hall of Fame-level maturity. In just his second NFL start, Shedeur Sanders has already proven everybody wrong. The haters said he couldn't handle pressure. Wrong. The doubters said he'd act like a diva. Wrong again. And the scouts who questioned his mental toughness? Dead wrong. This press conference wasn't heartbreaking because Shedeur failed. It was heartbreaking because he cared that much. That's the difference between good players and great ones. Great players take losses personally. They hold themselves to impossible standards. They don't make excuses, even when they've got every reason to, and that's exactly what Shedeur Sanders just did at 22 years old. The NFL better wake up. because this kid's not just playing quarterback, he's setting the tone for how it's done. We've seen plenty of rookie press conferences over the years, but this one, it hit different. It wasn't just about football, it was about character, leadership, and what it truly means to be real when the world's testing you. Shedeur could have gone the easy route, blaming others or staying silent, but he chose the hard path, accountability, and that right there is what separates the future legends from the rest. So here's the question. Are we witnessing the start of something special in Cleveland? Is Shedeur Sanders really that next level talent who's gonna change the Browns forever? Or do the doubters still have something to say? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I wanna hear what you think. And if you're rocking with Shedeur like I am, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a single update. Share this with your people because we're just getting started. This journey's about to get wild. We're witnessing history being written right in front of us. And trust me, you're gonna wanna be here for every second of it. Catch you in the next one.